My wife woke up one day and she said that she was never going to do that again. Suck my dick. There was no warning either. It just happened one day. I wonder if this has happened to other men, molding their babies. It came in my marriage like smoke. Angels sat cross-legged in the closet of my wife's mind, waiting for a chance to announce their parole. I wanted those angels back in their jail cell and her lips back on my skin. How do I remain faithful after a declaration like that? Never? How do I fulfill my sexual needs? My neck won't bend that far. I need spit on my stick so I can crash in the wall without getting hurt.
That is the way you say it. That's the way you say it.
I just like the way how you said, my wife is doing that again.
Women are protesting everywhere. No more oral sex.
You go get done, Lana.
Imagine that. All right, more questions. So that one usually gets the, whoo, I can't believe she said that. So I say the things that people won't say.
For real. I would never write a paper for Miss Mallett.
Have you ever tried that?
Would you fail us?
Dude, this is like...
She would just email you.
All right. More questions.
Any more questions?
What made you write that?
Let me preface that. Sure. Not only that, but you also take on the persona of a man, and you pull that off wonderfully.
Thank you.
You know,
Although I'm not a lesbian, by the way. You kind of tracking over there. I just wanted you to know, just in case maybe you was thinking that I wasn't unavailable. Because I have a lot of male friends. I have a brother. I'm raising a boy. And I kid you not, I have learned so much from my son that it is ridiculous about men. And I have an alpha male as a son. My son is very competitive. He's very all boy. But at the same time, behind closed doors, in the house, just he and I, what is he? He's like a little wimp. He's a big baby. He still wants to sit on my lap. He still wants to, can I sleep with you? Boy, you 20 years old. He's 12 now. And I'm like, you got me waking up with a heart on. I can't have a dick in my lap. Wait, should I have said X-rated? I'm sorry. Can I think we already crossed that boundary. Is everybody over 18?
Yes.
Yeah.
If not, it's a little late.
Okay, well. I'm sorry. But I'm known for keeping it real. I'm a keep it real kind of person. And I'm going to tell the truth.
Yeah.
All right, questions, poetry. Because she said some of you maybe were a little skeptical about poetry. From reading that, do you see it differently? Do you see the different things that you can do with poetry after me reading a couple of pieces? Yes?
I like poetry, but I think a lot of people that think about poetry think about like Shakespeare, like the old poetry. They don't think about people with very modernized poetry like yours. They don't take that into consideration. Well, like my little brother, he's 14, and we were talking about this last night. And he was like, well, I hate poetry. And I'm like, well, you like Dr. Seuss, don't you? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, that's poetry. And I let him read some of my Shakespeare stuff, and he's like, that's boring. Like, I think it depends on your generation and what you're willing to read and what people have to captivate.
Can you get internet access?
Oh, yeah, whatever you want to do. You want to show them something?
Yeah, I do.
Is it R-rated?
No. No,
I want to copy the poem she just read.
Well, why would you want to show
Yeah, why would you want to show your dad?
Yeah, why would you want to show your
She wants to
dad?
give it to her boyfriend that she hates.
What the hell?
Here, this is how I feel.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
Well, read it.
Oh, just because I tell my dad funny stuff.
This is one of my favorite contemporary poets. He's out of California. I wish he lived closer, but he doesn't. And it is awesome to me what he does with language. And he's my inspiration. I read his stuff over and over and over again. I'm one of his fans on Facebook. I'm trying to get him to come to my school. And his name is called J.P. Dancing Bear. That's the name he writes on. And this one is called Making Art. So many love poems swim in my head, each rippling like silver skin, under a moon that can only sing light. When I touch you like this, 700 verses are written in laws. Then we make love. In the aftermath of the city where we constructed incredible architects, sculptures, painting, frescoes, and gardens. I sift through dusty rocks, and archaeologists looking for just one surface to write a love poem. I love it. It's such a, this is contemporary poetry, so it's not like the Shakespeare. Here's another one called Because of Coltrane. It's a glass of white wine these days, not scotch and smoke in a lounge the way I used to enjoy jazz. It's a CD player and afternoon light with Coltrane playing a tune that still touches the ghost I carry. In his saxophone are empty spaces. He made just for spirits to cry, just for me to listen. Ah, that's just awesome. That's poetry. That's experience. That's having your experience and taking your experience and creating a symphony, creating whatever with words. Because that's all the poet has, words. And it's words that are available to all of us. It's not like, you know, poets have a secret canon of words and the rest of the humanity, you know, have, no, it's the same words. But it's how they're arranged on the page and how those poetic devices are used to get you to do just that. Think, feel, sense, and imagine. When you understand the gift that poetry is, it informs all of your life. Poetry is not just this, you know, sacred thing over there for those people who know. Even for you, just taking an English class or a literature class, poetry is still that heroin. It is that, that's what I call it, that juice. It's the juice in the vein. It's the juice on any writing to give it that spirit, to cause it to come alive, to cause it to stand up and wake up. Instead of it being some flat, like the walls, no paint, just flat. Something that you don't even notice. You come in and out of here, you probably don't even pay attention to the colors of the wall. If you came in here one day and they splashed a mustard yellow on the wall, you would look. That's what poetry is. It's that splash of burgundy or mustard on the wall that compels you to take notice. It compels you to stop a moment, to breathe in a moment, to pay attention with your eyes. For the first time, maybe even to listen. Even in your relationships with your significant others, you guys kind of young, so not too many of you should be married. So with your, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, your parents, your friends, as you're matriculating through these halls, poetry causes you to stop a minute and pay attention. Because I could spend so much time paying attention to one word on a page. And I'm just enamored about how that poet used that one word. And I'm there for days in that syntactical construction of a line. It causes you to think. Think beyond your borders. Expand. That's what poetry does.